Welcome to the Hope Hub, the podcast where we celebrate the good stuff. In a world that is increasingly distracted and divided and quite dark, we shine a light on everything that's out there that is positive, uplifting, and that just digs deep for our own personal wells of hope. And each week we interview somebody who's doing something that's, extraordinary in a very ordinary way. And my guest today is Nicky Barlow, who is doing just that. Nicky, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. It's lovely to have you here.
Oh, thanks, Liz, for having me. I'm made up to be here.
Well, the reason why I invited you in is because what you're doing is so unique. I just thought it's simple, it's really easy to access, it's free.
Yeah.
But
sure
it's something that celebrates hope and well-being and the good stuff in a very accessible way. Do you want to tell us what you do, first of all, and then maybe how you got to where you are now?
Okay. You'll have to remind me the questions.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't
I might
worry.
go off track.
Yeah.
So I teach something called Qigong.
Yeah. Qigong. How do you spell it?
So it's, you're asking me now. It's Q-I.
Yeah, Q-I.
Qi.
Yeah.
But you can spell it C-H-I. So
right.
people have heard of Tai Chi. It's spelt in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's Qi Gong, and you separate it up like that because Qi means energy and Gong means to work with.
Oh, okay.
So it's all about creating balance for your body, your mind, and your spirit. And why did you think you were asking me why?
Yeah. How did you end up doing this?
So I'm a physiotherapist by background. I've been a
Right.
physiotherapist for 30 years, and I think we were talking about in this modern world, there's a lot of things that are grabbing for our attention. So it might be social media, it might be television, and, being on. A lot of us are working online, it's shifted to that way. We use a lot of technology and we're kind of overstimulated. And from my own point of view, it's kind of how often people become what we call disconnected. So disconnected from the body. So it's how, and I think when we become disconnected, often people start to feel like there's just something that's not sitting right. So we would describe it as they become diseased. So not disease, but dis-ease, because you're feeling out of ease with yourself.
Okay, so the word ease, so dis-ease,
yeah.
So not at ease.
Yeah, not at ease. So,
that makes sense.
you just feel like you've got that bit of resistance. I think we were talking about when, we use Qigong in terms of if you, it is an exercise, but it's kind of a way of life as well. So it's kind of looking at living within your flow. So if you're in balance, you kind of flow through life effortlessly. But if you're not, it's almost like there's a bit of resistance and you're trying to push things upstream and just doesn't sit right. And I think that's why I ended up getting into Qigong, because I was a bit of an overthinker. And, often when you overthink, your energy would be out of balance because you'll have a lot of energy around the upper part, around your head, because you're maybe thinking about things. And I didn't understand. I mean, I do have a hearing disability, so I have to process extra anyway. And I've had the diagnosis of ADHD.
Okay.
And it's like a label, so we can give it a label. But, in terms of, I know that's where my overthinking comes from.
From the ADHD.
Yeah.
From the internal noise. So a lot, is that the hyperactivity bit? It's internalized. Because that's what a lot of people say, that it manifests in women and girls in a different way to boys. And I know that a lot of the research into ADHD historically was into boys.
Yeah, and I think people tend to, and even myself, I kind of think, well, it's to do with more like hyperactivity rather than the energy is around that. I mean, we'll think about it from an Eastern point of view. The energy is all in the mind, so it's like racing. And, if you're not, obviously you have an awareness of it now. I know that, okay, that's what that is. But I also very creative. So, it can, I mean, people talk about it being a superpower and a curse at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think, if you understand, it can be used to the best if you're, really create amazing things. So maybe see things in the world in a different way to other people sometimes, I guess.
So can I ask you did physiotherapy before you discovered Qigong. So you'd already got into working with bodies and...
Yeah.
So what was it that drove you down that path? do you think?
I think I've always encouraged people to take an active part in their own well-being.
Do you think that was part of you managing your own undiagnosed ADHD?
Yeah. So, I mean, look back now, I've always been very much into activity and exercise. I mean, I used to run for Merseyside, swim for Bootler North Liverpool.
Okay, so you're a runner and a swimmer,
so
but not
used
just
to do a lot
not
of
just
activity.
casually.
No,
you're actually doing it competitively. Yeah. Okay, right.
And then I think once that went, it became the club scene. I mean, back in the 1990s, the club scene in Liverpool was amazing. Yeah. And I used to just go out dancing pretty much every night, and I'd be on the stage full on. Yeah. And now when if you look at the movements of Qigong, when you're moving like that, it's almost like you're getting rid of excess energy.
100%. Yeah.
So like when I look back at it now, I think I can understand what I was doing there. That was part of my management.
You were self-medicating essentially. Yeah.
And I think now in terms of, I think when things really hit off for me was that going through lockdown, you're not as active, you were doing a lot more online. Obviously being more stimulated by working online as well. It was kind of having that, and I was just really struggled, and I went into the menopause as well.
Well, so, there is a thing about that, isn't there? Because when the estrogen levels drop, that has a direct impact on your dopamine.
Sure.
And with ADHD, it is about dopamine levels, isn't it? It's about having to seek. I know this because I too identify, but mine went into a different way. My medication was alcohol, which is why I don't drink anymore.
Sure.
So that, I learned a lot about myself when I stopped drinking alcohol and self-medicating with that. But also dancing and also running.
Anxiety, like the anxiety was just spiralling. And and I know my daughter doesn't mind me saying this, is that actually it was her, because she didn't have a hearing disability, and she started to struggle with what I thought was migraines and like headaches that, and now I understand it all, the overstimulation, the energy up around there, in terms of she was really struggling, behaving in a similar way to me. And I was thinking, well, what's that about? And looked a bit further into it. And I think sometimes, people are not aware that obviously if you do have ADHD in the family, it's common that one of the parents
passes on
will as well. Yeah. And I think and it's also having an awareness is helpful to manage that as well, isn't it? How we look after both each other's needs and how we react to each other as well.
Well, it helps you to communicate.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about who wins. When you're in a relationship with your children or your partner or your friendships or at work. I mean, the real wins are, communicating to connect.
Yeah.
And when you've got that greater understanding, it gives you far more leverage, doesn't it, to be able to kind of empathise, maybe?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that I've always been about movement, but it became more so that I had to, especially through lockdown, is really needed to be outside. You needed to reconnect with nature. I think we live in little boxes, we can't see outside. And that's a big thing in terms of maybe people call it oversensitivity. If you're an oversensitive person, how do you manage your energy? So I think getting out in nature is a massive thing, and being able to walk, being able to see the sunlight, but just having the awareness of these things in terms of it is quite a big part in your management as well. So I've always been about movement, but I think movement what we do is do them just gentle movements, bringing you back into your body, so you've got an awareness about where you are in space, can be very grounding. And then you find that calms the mind down, and then you're in a place where you can be more creative, and you can do the wonderful things that you've got the ability to do, really, if you just have that awareness. So, but I think what's quite useful, and I've learned a lot from Qigong, is that I've always, in terms of being really enjoyed helping other people. So in terms, that's why I became a physiotherapist. But what Qigong taught me is that it needs to start with you rather than you trying to do it for somebody else.
Oh, that's magic. So you didn't realise that before? Did you feel that you were a people pleaser or a bit depleted?
I was definitely that, but then also when I look back, because if you've got ADHD or you like to do courses, you like to learn.
Yeah. You're hyper focused.
I had to, I wouldn't. This course, that's going to be the answer. This is going to be the next thing. I need to do that. And sometimes you overwhelm yourself with the amount of things you've signed up for. But so now when I look back at that, you know, I wanted to be the best physio there could be, so I needed to know everything. But actually now I think I kind of, looking back, I kind of think, well, not one thing's going to fit, not one size fits all. So I've learned that through my career. But also the magic comes when you're supporting somebody to take the steps themselves, you're supporting them. But also I kind of think that Qigong takes it a step further, that I've learned that if I get up in the morning and I spend time working on myself in terms of balancing my own energy, maybe doing some meditation, etc., so you're feeling in a really calm space, is that then if you go into working with other people, they kind of sense that. They kind, you know, if somebody's in a bad mood, you sense it, don't you, when you walk in?
Absolutely. It's emotional contagion.
It's also the other way, isn't it? So if you're feeling really relaxed, then people feel like they want to be in that space. They want to, what is that about? So I've kind of learned that the magic happens with that. So what can I do to...
Speaking my language.
And you're kind of saying that, you know, in terms of sharing hope, I think it starts with you. And people think, and that's what we're taught in Qigong as well, is that, you know, it is a way of being. And in terms of you're trying to spread love to other people. Yeah. But that starts with yourself.
So self-love.
Yeah. That's us.
Well, what you're describing there is what they call co-regulation,
yeah,
isn't it?
That's too true.
And as mums, we know that. Yeah. And my former career as a teacher, I know that only too well. Yeah. You know, you bring the energy, you lift the students, or if they're kicking off, you've got to be there quite calm to kind of talk them back down. So you've got to really be aware of your energy. But I think what you said about making sure that you are calm to start, you have your own little routine. So can you talk us through, do you have a morning routine? Because like I'm the queen of morning routines. I love my morning routine.
Well, do you know what? I do. And but also it's not just about the routine, I think, as well, because I'm very much about movement, but there's a, you know, in terms of when you're moving, it's improving your breathing. So if you improve your breathing, you're bringing in better oxygen.
I've been very conscious of my breathing and my posture here as we speak.
But there's things like food and, you know, what you're actually putting in your body. Are you getting outside in nature, getting sunlight? Are you drinking water? I'm not going to say I'm the best, because I'm not. I'm definitely a work in progress with that. And food. So I get up, the first thing I do when I get up is I have my sea moss. It's like...
Okay, sea moss, like moss from the sea, S-E-A.
So, right. So it's like all your...
Sounds like
natural...
Sounds disgusting.
Well, it is, but you know, sometimes you'd have to do these things. The texture's a bit strange.
Oh, gee. What's the texture like? Is it all slimy?
It is a little.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but it does line your gut.
Okay.
And you're getting a lot of nutrients. And in terms of food, you know, the food change have changed through. If you look at food now for the nutrients you get from maybe 10 years ago, there's a big difference. So you need to. And I'm not, again, I'm a work in progress, but I am aware that there's no point just doing the Qigong if you're not looking at what other things you're inputting into your body and your life.
So true, isn't it? Yeah. I used to be like that when I'd be signing up for yoga and going running and then drinking a bottle and a half of wine or something, you know, and smoking fags.
And then so people are saying it's not working.
Balance,
it's not, it's not working, but it's about consistency. And this is interesting because we both got the Atomic Habits book, haven't we?
Well, my one's there, and you brought your one in. Yeah.
So. And you know I love Mel Robbins. So last time I came on the radio, I'd been to see Mel, hadn't I? Because I was a bit nervous about coming. Yeah. And I think what she's got a really good way of really describing things in terms of get up in the morning. Yeah. You might not feel like getting out of bed.
Never feel like that.
And there's sometimes when I really shall count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. But I might
5 second rule.
Might have to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 again.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Again.
Yeah.
And in the end, it's kind of, you know, step into the uncomfortable, because you might not want to do it, but you've got to do it. You know, make that first step.
The one thing I always say is, right, mood follows action.
Yeah. Okay.
Mood follows action. Whenever I do a session or whenever I do, you know, posts online, I get people to say it after me. Mood follows action, 3 words, really makes a difference. Well, you're never going to be in the mood to get out of that bed or to eat that seaweed or to...
Well, that gets me going. And then what I'll do is I usually go outside, but it depends on the time, because I mean the moon was amazing the last couple of days, wasn't it? So
stunning. Yeah.
I just see the moon. I thought, right, so I'm going to have to go and sit outside.
Beautiful, yeah.
And I think that's really grounding as well.
Yeah.
I think that's people as well. You know, I was saying like 10 years ago when I started doing the Qigong, people were a bit like, oh, this energy stuff's a bit woo-woo, isn't it? You know, but it's actually scientific. So, you know, your body is resonating energy now. 2 meters, I think, for the heart. Yeah. So I'm interacting with you as you are with me.
More than the brain, apparently.
Yeah.
My yoga teacher, Rose, tells me.
And there's like a communication as well, isn't there, from the heart energy. So I think it's, again, that's where if you're grounding. But it's nice. I'm really lucky that I've got a nice pine tree outside. So I'll go out. If the weather's nice, I'll be in my bare feet. Yeah. I love being on the ground. So all the movements of Qigong are based on nature. So I will take inspiration from what's around me. But of course, you've got the birds singing. And
especially now at this time of the year. Isn't it magical?
But, you know, like Mel says, sometimes you might not fancy it. And, you know, get your coat on, get out, because it does make... And Julia Bradbury's another one. Absolutely love what she does.
Yeah, and so she's very much into movement, isn't she? She's got her little trampoline. I've got a little trampoline. I do mine outside on the
And she loves Qigong as well, because I did a walk with her and we were out. We did like, she calls it nature snack. We stopped. We did some Qigong. And Qigong's all, you know, about letting things go that you don't want to hold on to. Okay. You kind of believe in, like, you're interacting with nature, so you're letting go of what you don't need. It's recycled and it comes back at you as positive energy. And I think that's, if what we're saying about changing those little habits, if everybody just looks at changing that one little, you know, just making really small changes, it soon starts to build up. And one of the things is about community as well. So it's not...
The connection.
Yeah. So that was one of the big things about the class. So when I teach a class, my first teacher, Sue Weston, said to me at the end, you bring the class together. She said, go out and pick a few herbs and make some tea. That was a little bit much for me. But
that's a lovely idea, though. I love it.
So I get it from Leaf, because I really like leaf tea.
Right, okay.
So everybody knows Secret Garden, and we're going to speak to Claire later. That was Claire's tip. We have Secret Garden at the end of the class because it's just so nice.
It's that communal ritual, isn't it? It's very special, because my yoga teacher does that too. She used to do cacao, and now she does rose. Okay. And her name is Rose, and it's a heart opening tea and a heart opening process as well.
Lovely. I think it's as well. Is community is the one. I mean, I think if you look at love and charity, community is the main thing. So if you're feeling isolated, it's got a big effect on you as a person. But so, I just think, it just really connects to me.
And we know each other from a community, do we not?
We do, the Move community.
Yes. Mark Waldron, we give him a shout out because Mark and Andrew are brilliant, and he was amazing. On here. He was my first guest.
Well, listen, I'm going to have to tell you, I am the Move Member of the Month.
Oh, of course. Yeah, congratulations.
So there you go.
Congratulations. That's amazing. And well deserved. Well deserved.
I was absolutely made up.
I bet you were.
Yeah,
well,
so I think what's been great about the Move community is that I was approached by the university to do a project, and it was last year, and I'd lost my confidence a little bit, and I said to Mark and Andrea, I need to do this. I know that people who've got that entrepreneurial, will want to invest in themselves.
That's the thing, the personal development. Just for clarity, so if anyone doesn't know what Move is a networking. So it's a networking group for business owners in Liverpool, and every Saturday morning we meet at 7 a.m. in Sefton Park. They also meet in the Wirral at West Kirby Marine Lake at 7 on a Sunday.
And then you've got Liverpool
the Liver Building on a
whichever.
Wednesday. So we know each other from the Sefton Park one, don't we? And that's it. We just pay a little fee, monthly fee, and then we go for coffee, and there can be up to 50, 60 people sometimes.
And then sometimes we do Qigong.
And sometimes Nicky does Qigong, don't you?
Yeah, so we did that. And
so that's the community. So with this Qigong, I think what's really significant, what I'm taking away from it is, like, there's the personal, there's the mind, the breathing, the movement, the connection, and almost like a spiritual level.
That's it.
And then from there's the co-regulation, you know, the heart extending the joy
but
to
it's
other people.
Also with nature as well.
And nature.
Yeah.
So the communing with nature.
Yeah.
And nature is a significant element in Qigong, is it not?
That's right.
You could do it in the house, but it's encouraged to be outdoors.
I've just done a project with the University of Lancashire with the innovation team there.
Yeah.
And we've filmed 7 minutes of Qigong for 7 days.
Is that what you have behind you?
Board,
do you want to get it? Do you want to show us?
Oh, go on.
Yeah, go on. Because I love that. Oh, God, I am mad. I am mad for anything that's like creative.
So
it's like a vision board, is it?
This is my vision board.
Love it.
So I'd been asked by the university we were going to film, and they said, right, do you want me to share it that way?
Yeah, if you turn it maybe to the camera.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I love that.
So what this means is it basically said, can you come up with the routines? And I was like, well, there's so many. I love all the exercises. So how am I going to pick the exercises? So
do you want me to hold it?
Go on, you hold it and I'll talk it through. So I decided that I was doing a vision board for the year, and I thought, right, okay, let's do a vision board for the project. And I started cutting, and I kept seeing cups of tea everywhere. And then I decided to listen to Mel Robbins' podcast, and she was speaking to James Clear from it, who written Atomic Habits. And as my physio background, it's all about repetition. So it's not just about doing something once, kind of doing the repetition.
Building those neural pathways.
Yes.
Very good.
That's it. But he was more so like, okay, make it as easy as it possibly can.
Yeah.
So that people just kind of have no excuse not to do it.
So you lowered the bar of entry.
Well, I thought, you know me, Liz. I like to be with no shoes on. I like to be in my wellies.
As you're showing here.
It's too hot with the trainers on. So I like to be outside. But I thought maybe for some people looking at me on my Instagram or whatever might think that's a little bit too much.
Right.
So I'm thinking, how can I meet people where they're at? So they feel comfortable and bring the message in. So I thought I'm going to bring Qigong inside. So we were looked at.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, so if you're making a cup of tea or it was just been talking about eating well, but so I was saying to my daughter who's a student, what would she said, well, if you're making a pot of noodles, so we don't always eat well, so it might be you've got 5 minutes to actually do some Qigong. And I think what it is, we on the computer, this is about, so it's about people getting introduced to. There's different themes for the day. So we'll start off at the weekend where we're clearing the energy, the negative stuff we've picked up from the week. And then we'll look at refocusing for what the week is ahead. And then it's thinking about, okay, well, we can do the exercises and sit in, we can adapt. If we can't get up from our desk, we can do it. And then we're looking at, okay, so is there a possibility that maybe we can start to look outside? Can we bring the nature in some way? So having a plant or...
in the house.
And then we've got the inclusion side of things. So we can do it in seating, we can adapt it. If you can't do the movement, you can maybe visualise it. And then bringing it all together, the idea is that you come together as a team. So you start to make a cup of tea. We do the co-regulation, so we are working together. And then the final thing is we venture outside. So I'll go so we are going to be launching at World Women's Day at UCLan University.
Okay, so this is going to be all of this
big
plan.
Filmed, yeah.
So it's going to be filmed, and that's the International Women's Day, which is the 8th of March?
We're going to be doing an event at 7th.
Okay.
I've got an event on the 7th and the 8th. So
okay.
7th we are at the university to launch. And the staff there, and we've got people from the community coming in, women to learn about their anatomy,
brilliant,
how they look after themselves.
Fabulous.
So we are launching there. So what I will be doing there is in terms of women tend to hold a lot of tension around their upper chest, if we're on a computer, we're in this position, and around the pelvis. So how can we open up those spaces? We hold a lot of emotion in that area. So how can we do that? And then the idea is, in the end, we're going to take it out into the courtyard and get people to give it a go outside, because I think once you've built your confidence up in the movement, you're more likely to then go out and take it out into nature.
Amazing. And will you have this on social media? You will?
Yes.
So people can access this?
They can.
So if people come to this at a later date, because it's possible that this might not get out before then, how can we find you on social media?
So you can either email me or you can say I'm Wuji Wellbeing, and it's spelled W-U-J-I Wellbeing, and it's UK if you're looking at Instagram.
Brilliant.
So
are you on TikTok as well?
I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got to do more.
Yeah.
And Mark has been saying you've got to get your videos on YouTube. So they will be uploaded to YouTube. So you're going to be able to access them.
So people will be able to access this on Wuji Wellbeing.
That's correct.
And they'll be able to, if they want to practice some of the movements.
That's it. So it's giving you an introduction.
Yeah.
And what it's about
is
7 minutes. So,
7 minutes for 7 days.
7 minutes for 7 days.
So you will guide people as well.
That's it. So you can have the videos.
Yeah.
And then, with the teams, I can come and deliver it, if it's part of a team on the final day. But I do some online work as well. So people want to join the online classes. I prefer to be outside.
Yeah.
But then I've done events where people say we really want to carry on with the Qigong. We don't know how to do it. So it's the only way to really do it. And actually sometimes the thing is, if you are live with the people, there is an energy there.
There is.
Even if you're not in the same room. So
shall we do a little bit? Should we try something?
We can.
We do something here, sitting down? Just a quick one before we finish up.
Okay.
What do you think?
So how many minutes?
Let's just do maybe a quick minute, just of kind of like just to give us an idea of what you do. Something like a very quick.
Can I move away from the?
Yeah.
I move away a little bit. Tell you what, face shape.
Okay.
So if you make a little beak shape with your fingers.
Okay.
And then put them under your shoulders, and then what I'm going to do is this is called rooster spread its feathers.
Oh.
So what we're doing here, we're getting a bit of spinal movement.
I can feel this already.
But what we're doing is opening up the chest. So you were saying about love and hope.
Yes.
Being able to open up your space. But if you're down here, you can't do that.
And we're like this all the time on our phones,
aren't we? You could just do some shoulder rolls.
But this is more. It seems more targeted doing it like
this. It's quite nice. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
And then what I really like to do is to shake. So if you picked up negative energy, so if you think we're an animal,
yes,
and you can do a little bit from the wrist and hands.
This is a really good way of
shake off.
Could you do this in a classroom of students?
Well, you could. So
I think this would be really good.
This is a real Scouse way of saying it. If someone's been doing your head in a little bit, shake it off.
Shake it off. Ooh.
And then what this will do is bring the energy up.
Oh, I can.
So what I always do is recenter after that.
Okay, all right.
So say if you look at an animal who's been in fight or flight, it freezes. What it does is shakes off the negative. It does. Whereas a human, we just go from one thing to another.
We do, and store it all.
So if you have a shake, and then what we can do is do like a breath in if we can manage. And then we just pulling down. So this is called pulling down the heavens. So it's reconnecting to yourself. Inhale.
I like
and then
this.
We exhale.
I
and we
like
pull
this.
down the heavens. So you think if your energy's all scattered up the top.
Yeah.
This is kind of like pulling it down. And then what we like to do is just put one thumb over the other.
Okay.
Just bring it under your belly button. And then it's just bringing the attention into your body. And they call this bamboo in the wind. If you stood up, you will move. So kind of maybe even just checking in. Can you feel your feet on the floor? Can you feel the chair under your legs? So you're bringing yourself back into an awareness with the body, where sometimes we're kind of up here, what's coming next. So it's kind of an awareness about where we are in the body.
That is incredible.
There's a quick little...
Oh, that was lovely. That was lovely. I feel energised just from those few moves.
And I guess if you think about a child who's in a tantrum, they throw.
That's it, isn't it?
Whereas an adult, we've been taught not to do that, and we kind of, keep your...
Suppress, zip up.
So it's how, just kind of give it a shake out, pull down the heavens, and you reground.
I love that.
And you're good to go.
Well, do you know what? What have you got coming? You've got International Women's Day. So you've got something then. You've got something else maybe. I think you said in April you've got something.
So we have World Earth Day.
Earth Day.
And we are going to be at the Living Museum in, I've forgotten, Beaconshill.
Well, they can find it on your Instagram anyway, can't they?
We do.
Get stuff there. And if you tell me, I'll put it in the show notes.
With the lovely Claire, who you're going to be speaking to as well.
That's right.
And we do combine forest bathing. And that's where that is a little bit unique, because we do the coming back into the body.
Yeah.
And then once we've kind of, sometimes people arrive and they're feeling a bit scattered. Yeah. So I bring them back into the body
And then
start the process, and then Claire takes on from there and
amazing.
connects
That's
to
a
the
great
stage
connection
senses.
as well. So we will be.
So I think we're the only ones
it.
that are doing
That's
it.
a really good
and we
idea,
have
yeah.
presented at conferences. We've been to the Association of Outdoor Therapists.
Fantastic.
Yes, it's all exciting stuff.
Well, do you know what? Thank you so
You're
much.
very
I've got one
welcome.
question to ask before we go. What, and I love this because at the end of every episode, I ask people, what is your hope spark? Something that is just a quick hack that anyone can do today, sitting at home or sitting in the car.
I hope that
What's your
people
hope?
have a little go of that shake. Because
Yay! The
I
little
think
shake is your
sometimes,
hope spark.
not taking yourself seriously.
Yeah.
Is shake like no one's watching.
Love it.
Let go of that tension, because if
Yeah.
you're feeling calm in your space, it's going to affect the people around you, and that'll have a ripple effect, won't it? So if we all think about that, just think about how it can build if we do that.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's been lovely. We'll get you back again.
Thank
And
you.
next time we'll do it with our shoes off, properly standing
We
up and
can.
doing all of that, and maybe even outside. We'll do something outside. But
Perfect.
thank you all so much for watching, for tuning in. Please, if you are interested in anything that Nicky has said today, follow her on Wuji Wellbeing.
UK.
Yeah, UK on Instagram. And also please like, share, review, and pass it on to people who might benefit,
Yeah,
because
that'd be
this is
great.
our mission is to spread
Get
hope
the word out.
in a dark world.
Yeah.
So keep it going. Thank you very much. Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
Liz.
Nicky. Thank you.